Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Signum University Webathon. So now we are going to shift from the State of the University address to talking about events at Signum University, events in general and Mythmoot in particular. That's kind of like events in general and Mythmoot in particular is kind of like the subtitle of the events program at Signum University. Mythmoot is our big annual event. We have many smaller events throughout the year, but Mythmoot is our big event and primary focus. I am joined, I should do official introductions. I am joined first by Laurel Stevens, who is the director of the Signum Events program and has been now for many years the queen of Mythmoot. Even if you're not wearing your tiara today, that is perfectly okay. You don't have to wear the crown still to hold the crown.
It's on one of the shelves.
It's on one of the shelves. Yeah. There look like there are a number of other heads in the background on which it could theoretically be sitting.
If it stayed there, possibly,
yes. If it stayed there, yes. Anyway, so Laura, I would just like to kind of start off sharing with people about the events program and kind of like why we do it. Like, what is the point of the events program, and what is sort of the value that that you see from like these events and why we do these things.
Well, as I'm sure everyone is very aware of, Signum is primarily an online institution.
Yeah.
We connect through a multitude of different venues. We have space, we have your broadcasts, we have the Discord. There's all these ways that we get to interact with people that we share so much in common with. But sometimes it's nice to actually be able to see them face to face and shake a hand or spend a night talking by the fire. Perhaps argue on whether or not Glorfindel actually does X, Y, or Z in person instead of through a variety of chats. So the in-person allows just, I think, for a broader depth sometimes of getting to know your community. Mm-hmm. And also, online, there's only so much you can interact with people that you're not aware of existing.
Yes.
At an event,
yes,
there's a room of people. And even if you don't know that person, you can see them, which is a little difficult, especially in an online space.
Yeah, that sense of being in the same space with people is really, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's true. I mean, in fact, one of the things that I often see at our moots is I'll be talking to two different people. One person is a person who will be has been attending my broadcast live. And another person is a person who can't attend live, but they've been listening asynchronously, right? And so they both are part of that community. They are both involved in that same online discussion, but they had no idea that the other one existed, right? Because it was happening, in the internet and asynchronously. It is. This is something that we have been increasing at Signum over the years, is our focus. Again, as I was talking about in the State of the University address, providing opportunities to learn is the core vision that Signum has been working on from the beginning. And the way in which events enable people to, like, the kind of opportunities that those create for connection. I've always believed in the ability of the internet to connect people, and it does a great job of that. But there are limitations. And
we cannot yet shake hands.
we cannot.
The internet.
We cannot yet do that. Yes, and so it's been. There is such a demonstrable difference, I find, between the engagement of people, the satisfaction, the joy that people find in our online community when they also get the opportunity to attend events. So we started with Mythmoot. Mythmoot is the original, right? That was the very first time. Mythmoot 1 was in I think it was in January of 2013, but it was like right in the, so like near the end of our very first year. And it was just like, hey, let's all like get together. That was when the first Hobbit movie came out. We got together and watched the Hobbit movie together and discussed it afterwards. Like that was our first event. And we, ever since then, we have been increasing, because we have seen the way in which just the kind of experience it is to be able to spend a day in company with people who share your passions, that we've tried to increase opportunities for that as well. And that's where the regional moot program was born.
Yes, and regional moots have really taken off in the last couple years all over the world, not just in the United States, although of course a larger number in the United States.
Yeah.
But even coming up this January, the 24th and 20th through the 26th, fourth Osmoot, our fourth Australian Osmoot, this time in Canberra.
Yeah.
And I'm personally a major fan of the theme they picked this year, the celebration, ceremony, and courtship. Like, has that nice alliterative feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, right on the heels of that, SoCal Moot in early February, the 7th, and the Latin Lux in Tenebris, the dialectic of light and darkness in Tolkien's Legendarium.
Yeah.
And then March in Orlando, April in Texas, and then May is Mountain Moot all the way in Colorado, and then later May, you're busy in May,
busy in
Willow
May.
Moot. So that's back to a totally different continent in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So, and facing the darkness, we like that theme recently.
Yes,
Light
yes.
and darkness.
A lot of people have been thinking about that. It's been really fun to think about and discuss with people. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. We're all over the place. We're averaging about a moot a month now, year round.
A little more some months.
A little more some months. We have 6 in the next 5 months, 7 in the next 6 months if you count Mythmoot in June. So, that's, I say next. I guess that's not counting December. In the first months of the year.
Half.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's right. We've been right around 10, 12 regional moots a year. I do attend all of them in person. It's a lot. It's a lot of travel. There are times when I'm going from, one like Colorado to Belgium, with a relatively short turnaround. And, so sometimes the travel is a lot, but it's so worth it. I mean, I find it just such a rewarding thing to be with people again, to be in the room with people. And it's been such a great privilege to go around and do that. So we are at this point limited by my travel schedule, but I do everything I can. And I would add, I guess, if you are interested in a regional moot near you that you have not seen one near you and you would like there to be one in traveling distance of you, reach out, get in touch with us, send an email to events@signumu.org and we'll see what we can do. Our regional moots are primarily organized. We have local volunteers who help to organize things. Now, some of you might be thinking like, well, I've been part of local events before and that's a massive amount of work. I can't possibly do that. We actually have a really streamlined system to make regional moot planning as easy as possible. There's actually not all that. The primary thing we need local volunteers to help us with is find venues. If we can find, the places to be, maybe restaurants to go to hang out afterwards and stuff, those kind of boots on the ground things are what we mostly need. The rest of it, we handle most of the logistics, things like, doing registration and collecting registrations and tracking registrations and putting out the call for papers, all that kind of thing. We
have a well-oiled machine.
We have a very well-oiled machine. So if you are thinking about, if you've thought like, hey, maybe I could host one near me, give it a shot. Have a conversation with us at events and we'll see what we can do. I know.
And our regional moots lead, Adam, is fabulous. Like, he very, very happy to work with you, especially if you come with an idea.
Yeah.
But the entire point of the regional moots is for those local boots on the ground. It's to get the people in the area in conversation, because your area, you may have a whole bunch of people around you that you just don't know are actually within your area interested in those same things. Absolutely.
All of our regional moots have grown from volunteers who came forward and said, I would love to have there be a moot near me. And we are contemplating some new moots coming up. Next year we're gonna get to the north central part of the country, which has been the closest we've been is Iowa so far. That's not all that close. So we're planning to do a moot in Detroit next year. So we're gonna be up in Michigan for the first time. So that's gonna be really cool.
Weather willing.
Yeah.
Weather willing.
Weather willing. It is in December, so we're rolling the dice a little bit on that one because it's a full calendar. It was really hard to squeeze it in, but we're we're gonna give it a shot. And there's even been talk of, we are even thinking of going all the way to Alaska for a regional moot. So come on, Alaska moot, the Helcaraxa moot. But anyway, so lots of really, really fun stuff coming up.
Well, and even not in concrete yet, please do not nail my soul, but Kiwi Moot.
Kiwi
New
moot.
Zealand.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So
2027.
yeah. So our 5th annual Osmoot is gonna be something special. So we've been rotating. So Osmoot in Australia, as Laurel said, this year in January is going to be our 4th one, and we've been rotating around. Like basically, the first one we held was in Brisbane. And it was so exciting to be there. Oh my goodness. That was one of the most rewarding regional moots ever, because when I went down to Australia and we had Osmoot for the first time, there were people who attended that moot who said, this is the first time there has been a Tolkien conference in Australia, like hosted physically in Australia for 15 years of any kind, like by anybody. Anywhere, because Australians are used to getting the short end of the geographical stick, I mean, like, you'll have like, oh, it's the, UK/Australia society whose events are always held in the UK. Like, that's what normally happens to Australians, right? And so when we did our first Osmoot and I went down there was so much excitement. And in the 4 years since we've begun it, this really robust group of Australian Tolkien fans has really kind of cohered around Osmoot, and continued meeting through the year, and it's been really gaining a lot of momentum. It's been really, really fun.
Well, and Osmoot has such its own distinct, like, unique flavor.
Yeah.
Like their definition of afternoon teas and breaks, like I kind of love it.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, but we've been rotating around. So in Brisbane, like, people came from all over Australia. And there were people driving 12 hours from Sydney to Brisbane to be there for that weekend. So since then we've been rotating. We started in Brisbane. We then did Sydney. We then did Melbourne last year. We're going to be in Canberra this year. And then next year we're rotating through to Wellington, because we've had one of our attendees who has attended every Osmoot so far has been flying over, who lives in Wellington. So we had a local volunteer. And so we have a
whole team of volunteers now.
Yeah, it's been growing
3
now.
strong.
Yes, exactly. So we had been thinking about this for a while. That sooner or later we should rotate it through Wellington. But of course, that makes it not... First of all, we can't call it Osmoot anymore because the New Zealanders will probably object. So we're sort of thinking of that as Kiwi Moot. But it's basically, the year that Osmoot rotates through New Zealand. But of course, obviously, for obvious reasons, having a week, a 4-day Signum Moot in New Zealand... you
have to take advantage of it. You have to.
Exactly. We have to take advantage of it. So we're planning to. We don't have definite plans made yet. It's planning something like this in advance is tricky, because you need to make, in order to have like dates and itineraries and be able to tell people, okay, here's all what we're planning to do. Because we're not only going to do the moot, we're going to do trips possibly before and after. Basically, if we're going to go to New Zealand, do a Signum Moot in New Zealand, we're going to do it, right? We're going to do a full thing. Now it will be like modular. People will be able to be like, well, I'm going to stay for this part and then not for that part or whatever. They can do the whole thing. It'll probably be in like 3 parts, like before Kiwi Moot,
During.
and then post Kiwi Moot. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see, what people, are sort of signing up for and stuff. So anyway, but before we can say what there is to sign up for, we need to make reservations. And before we make reservations, we need to have commitments from people and everything. So it's a little bit of a chicken and the egg planning situation that is tricky. Laurel, the time we're thinking of, the time frame we're looking at the beginning of February.
Yeah, we're looking at early February.
2027. So not this
Yes.
coming February. So we're looking at
No.
the
Not
February
the
that
weekend
is
after Osmoot.
right, right.
Put
14
another
months
year in
from
there.
now, basically, is what we're looking at. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, which is, of course, the middle of summer down there. It's very, very beautiful. So yeah. Anyway, so it's going to be early February 2027. So that's the like hold the date kind of situation. What we're working towards, again, we now have a team of volunteers who's trying to sort of secure specific plans and things. We've been talking with Weta folks and things. It's been fun. But we're likely, the next steps that we're likely to want to make are taking deposits, basically. If you're interested in joining us in Kiwimoot and possibly in the things around it, we will probably ask you to pay a small down payment so that we can hold a spot for you, and that will give us some resources to be able to make some initial payments, as well
especially
as
because for some of the events we're probably going to have to put like a concrete stoppage of we can only take X amount of people because logistics like transportation or even venue limitations. So we're going to have to be a lot more careful with numbers on this one than we usually are.
Exactly. Yeah. Normally it's as many people come and whenever. If you just
Sure, we'll slip you in an hour after we've started.
I'll never forget our first ever Mythmoot in Toronto when we were out the University of Toronto campus, and there was this guy who was like going down the hall in the classroom building that we were in to use the bathroom at the end of the hall, and he peeked his head in the middle of a Tolkien talk, and he ended up staying for the whole moot and going out to dinner with us afterwards. Like, that's the kind of thing that is welcome to happen at most moots, but Kiwimoot is going to have to be a little bit more organized than that.
There was one of the Mythmoot trivia nights. We had a Marine at the bar. Was like, "Oh, I like Tolkien and joined one of the teams."
Yes, that's right. Yeah, no, that kind of thing happens. But so I would, if you are definite, if you're confident, if you're like, you're hearing about this and you're like, I am in Kiwimoot, New Zealand 2027, let's go. The first step you could take, send us an email at events@signumu.org and just let us know. We'll put you on an initial list so that we can, and then we'll obviously be in contact when it's time to put in a deposit and stuff like that. But that would be the first step to take there for Kiwimoot. So yeah, that is a big exciting thing brewing coming up here over this next year. But speaking of big exciting things, so I have mentioned, of course, that Mythmoot is our big event of the year, and those people who have been attending Mythmoot will know that we've had certain struggles in the last couple of years.
The last 2 years especially have been effort.
Yes, it has been an uphill climb these past 2 years. We've run into bureaucratic challenges.
Best way to put that.
With our venue. Our venue has been for many years now the National Conference Center down in Leesburg, Virginia. We love the facility. We love having our event there.
Peaceful, quiet,
peaceful,
enormous,
quiet.
Trails,
it's been great.
River, brutalist architecture, which, if you don't know what that is, imagine Rivendell and Moria have just gotten smashed together.
It's like, the place is like, it's like the size of a guild highliner in Dune. It's this enormous spaceship-sized building, which looks like a concrete bunker, and which is like networks of hallways and tunnels and things. Yes, it's a very internally, it's a very kind of dwarvish aesthetic.
Underground or overground, you have your choice. Which in June near DC is always appreciated.
It is appreciated, and the tunnels are sometimes identical looking and sometimes perpendicular to each other, and we all have a great time getting lost. Eric calls it the labyrinth of the Minotaur reconstructed by Soviet bureaucrats. Fair description. But the great thing about the NCC, the great thing about the venue, is the space, not just the amount of space, but the kind of space. The way in which we get to kind of be set aside in a world of our own. You come in there and then you don't like leave the building except to go out into the yard for days on end. There are places to go and relax. There's, all the rooms are right there inside. The place is a big retreat center, essentially. And that's what Mythmoot is. Mythmoot is not just a conference. It's not like you're just traveling to a hotel and there's a conference room that you go downstairs and walk down the street to a restaurant or something like that. This is a real retreat where you go to this quiet, peaceful, fun place where you are surrounded by our community for days on end. You get to have wonderful conversations. You get to sit around the fire pits and enjoy discussion and debate and fun. Sometimes involving setting fire to things. And
when they shut off the fireplaces at 2 a.m. and you're not done yet.
It's okay. We've overcome that problem because we've been there long enough. We know how to light them ourselves. But it's all good. And deer, yes, exactly. Be sitting there and deer will be like bucolically strolling across the yard right near you. Anyhow, so it's this. The venue is great, but again, its drawback has been certain elements of the bureaucracy there have made it very challenging for us to make our arrangements. And this has resulted for the last 2 years in our not being able to open registration for Mythmoot until like the last minute, like April. Yeah, before a June event, which is insane.
And a June event that is not cheap.
No, exactly. So, however, this year we have a big, Laurel, I'll let you make the big announcement.
Registration is open.
Registration is open.
Registration is open today, now, if you go.
It is November 22nd, and registration for Mythmoot is open fully 5 months earlier than it has been the last 2 years.
Which means we actually have early bird pricing this year. We had early bird pricing Mythmoot
back in the old days.
all the way through Mythmoot 10.
Yes.
I believe. And then the bureaucratic issues began. We had to condense it. But we have early bird pricing. And early bird is open all the way until January 31st. And then prices will go up to standard from that point onwards.
Mm-hmm.
But early bird pricing exists. It's open. You can register. And you'll notice when you go to register, one of the reasons we were able to get registration open so early this year is that we're actually running how we're doing staying on site. If you're going to book a room at the NCC, you're also going to do that through BlackBerry. So the same system, if you don't have a BlackBerry account, you will have to create one. But that is also how you do things like regional moots, space courses. Yeah,
that's how you get your ticket for Mythmoot anyway. So it's the same process.
But now you're also going to be booking your hotel room through BlackBerry. And you don't have to do it at the same time as you purchase your ticket. Have no fear. We're not making you pay for your hotel room the same day you buy your ticket.
That's right.
But you can go through, you can see the pricing, and online, once you go into BlackBerry, you can add your ticket. And also, if you're going to be staying in a room with someone, obviously, it's a little cheaper to split a room. So you notice you can book the room, and then you can book a +1 in the room, and the +1 will cost less and then you're splitting your room. Now, obviously, everyone who's attending, you want to, if at all possible, buy your ticket through your own BlackBerry account, because that is how you're going to have access to all of the recordings afterwards. Our guests of honor, our academic presentations, workshops, all of those recordings will be attached to your BlackBerry account. That is how you access them. But if you are rooming with someone, for example, if me and my friend Sam are going to split one of their lovely singular Hobbit-sized guest rooms, which if you've not been there, it used to be a Xerox training facility. It was then repurposed. So it is not a traditional hotel. Please do not go there expecting a traditional hotel. It is very much an experience. Oddly shaped experience.
An oddly shaped experience. That's the main thing.
Shaped in many instances
Yes,
experience.
though slightly more angular than most
Yes.
than most Hobbit things are.
If hobbits were into triangles,
If hobbits were into triangles instead of circles, it would be a very
yes.
Hobbit experience. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's a good way to describe it.
Yes.
But one of the greatest benefits of staying at the National Conference Center, attending Mythmoot, is that food is completely included for the whole time you're there. You get all of your
Breakfast,
meals and snacks
lunch,
and beverages all day long. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
lunch, dinner.
and like hot snacks in between, and other and drinks, and like, open, coffee and tea and soda machines all day long. And this has it's the one thing that separates the Mythmoot experience from my other conference experiences more than anything else is, like whenever you're going to attend a conference, right? Like first you have to pay the registration, and then you've got to pay for the hotel. And then, as to quote my wife in her favorite expression that she uses all the time when we're planning travel, and we haven't even eaten yet, right? Because that always adds up so much, right? You don't notice it when you're at a conference, right? But you're buying every meal as you go, and then at the end you're like, I spent how much on food? All of the food is included, and the food is good, and it is abundant, and it is available. I have spent many conferences, many other people's conferences, hungry because there's not enough food available, or there's not time to walk all the way out to a restaurant and come back in time. And so I'm like using vending machines or whatever, or just going hungry. That's happened to me a lot at conferences. It's funny. I remember the last non-Signum event I was attending. There were several people there who were like, I miss the food at the NCC. It's so good.
And when you register, there's an area for dietary restrictions, because the dining hall there is very willing to work with gluten-free, halal, fish allergy. Any dietary restriction you put that in, we provide it to them, and they ensure that you're going to have a full meal, all three, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that fits all of your dietary restrictions.
And you enter those things right into BlackBerry when you register, yes. Right? Yeah.
Yep, it's part of registration. There's a little open text box that says, please comment your dietary restrictions.
Yeah.
If they're not there, we can't guarantee them. So please make sure you do add those. It's labeled quite clearly.
Yeah, awesome. So, so Laurel, people want to know the theme this year.
The theme this year is Unexpected Company.
Unexpected Company.
And the website, I clicked publish. It is now live. If you go to the Mythmoot homepage, Mythmoot 13 is now linked. You can go ahead and see the lovely, in my opinion, adorable.
Oh, there it is.
Image design for this year. Yes. It's a small teacup, and you have a dragon wrapped around the base of the teacup, and a small, vaguely Cthulhu-inspired friend.
Except
in
adorable. Yes. Much more adorable than Cthulhu. Yeah. Awesome.
And everywhere from like the Eucatastrophe of the Eagles, obviously very unexpected company, to things such as A Wrinkle in Time, War of the Worlds, Dune, one of my favorite modern books, The Night Circus. Unexpected Company is rife with potential.
Yeah, really is. Really is. I have always loved the themes you guys have come up with. They've been both unexpected and fascinating and very approachable from lots of different angles.
Our goal is always to make sure that there is a wide range. We don't want a theme that's just going to appeal like just to fantasy or just to sci-fi or just to classics or just to philologists. We want one that everyone can jump on a little bit. Absolutely.
And we have guests of honor too.
We do. And our very first guest of honor is going to be familiar to, I'm sure, almost everybody. Michael Drought is going to be returning to Mythmoot this year.
Nice. It's always great to hear from Mike. Mike is a wonderful guest.
Absolutely. Whether Tolkien, Beowulf, Anglo-Saxon, Old Norse, Middle English, science fiction, obviously co-founder of the Tolkien Studies. He also has a brand new book, The Tower in the Ruin, comes out this December. It is both literary criticism and a little bit of memoir interwoven in, I think, a fascinating way. And of course, it'll be freshly out, so plenty of discussion there. So much. Not to mention, of course, he has been a consultant for The Lord of the Rings Online. He's been in the History Channel miniseries. There's so much that he brings to the table. Every time I hear Drought talk, I'm like, I will probably forget more. He's probably forgotten more about this subject than I will learn about this subject.
Yeah. One thing I always say, I've known Mike for many years now. One of the things that's been really fun is I've noticed as the years have gone by, the older he gets, the more I've heard him in talks, like, disagree with Tolkien. Like, he'll be talking about Anglo-Saxon stuff and be like, Tolkien said this. Now, I disagree for these reasons. It's awesome.
And he always
I love it.
He keeps his sources neat.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. It's
here's
great.
Why.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Yeah. No, it's marvelous.
Yes. And he is not our only guest, of course. In a rare turn of events, the first 3 people that we asked all said yes. We were able to think everything is like lining up for Mythmoot this year. Yes. And our creative guest this year, Kiz Johnson. Now, this is the one book I have handy from her, The Foxwoman. She's also written one of my favorite modern Cthulhu novellas called The Dream Quest of Valette Bow, and won multiple World Fantasy Awards, multiple Nebula Awards. She's won the Hugo Award. She's worked with Wizards of the Coast, Tor, Dark Horse Comics. Like, her resume.
So comics,
like
gaming, novels,
career.
Everything.
She just came out with a board game, I believe, last year, and is actively working on another. Like I said, her resume reads like my dream quest.
Very cool.
And of course, I believe she gave the Tolkien lecture in 2018 in Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure some people are familiar with her, and some people are like, I now wish to become familiar with her.
Yes. Very cool. Very cool.
And
And then?
Definitely not least by any stretch of the imagination, Dr. Larry Swain from Signum. If you take space courses, you have seen his name. There are so many of his space courses that I want to take.
Yes.
History of the Book might be my favorite, personally, in terms of description. But the list of space courses he has on offer, quite long. And you can tell that languages are one of his passions.
Oh, yes.
You have medieval studies, not to mention classical literature, culture. Like I said, there's dozens. And of course, some with China as well. Like, there is a wide variety here. If you're interested in languages, and if you haven't taken his space courses, definitely look for them. And if you have, come to Mythmoot. Come to his guest of honor speech.
Yeah.
See him in person.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Swain is, he has been a pillar of our space program from the beginning. He taught, I think he taught in our very first semester, or very first month, like he's been teaching. I think he's probably averaged more than one class a month since we started space 4 years ago. And he's phenomenal. He teaches Old English, Old Norse, Latin, Greek, and lots of the literatures thereof. He is phenomenal. Of course, he's been teaching in our graduate program for years as well, philology and language courses and literature courses. So really, really fun. So yes, there we go. Those are our guests of honor. So we get the whole thing. Registration open. Call for papers is open. You click submit to Mythmoot 13 right here on the Mythmoot page in order to submit your proposal for participating there. And then if you go to blackberry.signumuniversity.org, and when you go down to on the left-hand menu here, the events panel, you will see Mythmoot 13 right at the top. And that will bring you to this page, and you then can go and add registration, add lodging, or again, you can hold off on the lodging. You can just do registration. Registration will be the place to start because that's where the early bird prices are. And as you see, the early bird pricing expires on January 31st, right? So you've got through January.
Yes.
But,
prices will bump up.
Yeah, prices will bump
After
up
January 31st.
on February 1st. Yeah, exactly.
And we do ask if you can get lodging in at least a month before. So
Yes.
if you know you're going to be staying there April, May, because we do have to provide numbers to the NCC about a month in advance.
And
So
payment.
If we have 150 attendees, but nobody is staying on site, they're not going to believe us.
They're not going to believe us. Yeah.
I wouldn't believe us.
No, exactly. And
so we are giving you a lot more time for lodging, but you don't want to leave it towards last minute, especially they've only run out of rooms once before, but it has happened.
It has happened.
So,
yes.
And if we do run out of rooms, we'll have to go by who booked first, etc.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate that being a problem.
That normally does not happen, but
they have hundreds of rooms. Rarely are they completely booked out, but just as an FYI, please make sure you're booking your lodging ideally no later than April.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, don't forget all of the registration plus lodging. That also includes your room and board for the whole weekend. So
and every single event, you're not paying extra to go to the dance or the costume contest or to use Tangent Artist's room. Everything at Mythmoot is contained in that ticket price.
Yes.
Except for, of course, you need to book where you're staying.
And people are asking what the ticket price is, which I suppose we should show.
$3.95.
Yes. If you attended last year, you'll be pleasantly surprised because
it is
significantly less than it was last year. Full conference price, the early bird price, is $3.95. There we go. What it will rise to on February 1st is $4.50, which is still significantly less than last year. Yeah. And so as you can see, this is the page where you enter like your badge name and dietary restrictions and all that stuff here.
Yes. And a reminder, if you are staying in a room with someone, ideally all that room booking will be on one BlackBerry account. You can buy your ticket on your own account. But if you're going to be room splitting with someone, it'll be a lot easier on us tracking if all of the rooms are purchased. If you can't,
right, I see. So if you're staying alone, you click standard room one person. If you're going to have a roommate, you do standard room two persons.
Yes.
And you only need to buy one of those, not two. So you just buy the two-person room. Same thing so there's the suites as well. So the standard rooms of the NCC are small little rooms. The suites are much larger rooms with like a separate like living area with a pull-out couch.
Yes.
So they're much more, it is a much more comfortable sharing situation. That is certainly where families will want to be. And that if you want to share with two people in a little bit more comfort, you can share a suite. And again, it'll still be cheaper. I think it's still cheaper than even a standard room on its own to share a suite. Anyway, this is how, so that's how you do it. So for two people are going to share, one of them pays for a two-person room, right? On that BlackBerry account.
Well, on BlackBerry, let me pull up BlackBerry to ensure that I am accurately reporting to people. All right.
Right. Yeah. So you report both of the names here, right? Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's $125 per person per night.
Yeah. Right, for the standard
versus the standard where if you're staying by yourself, it's $225 for just you per night.
Right.
Granted, you're also then sharing a bed, but that's what room shares are for.
That's what room shares look like.
Yes, suites are the room that they have in the fewest number, but again, we've usually been pretty good at covering. Like, only one year did they run out of rooms. There are ADA rooms. That's one of those things in the comments, that area where please specify if you need an ADA room. We do have to request that explicitly. They make sure you're closer to the elevator or in a place where you can use, like, say, a rollator. Ideally, all of the elevators are working and have Braille on them. All of the elevators working can be a bit of a toss-up because it's a massive facility and it is a little older.
Yes.
But in that instance, they will try to make sure that if you have an ADA room, you are placed next to an actual working elevator.
That's one of the perks. Yes.
And if you have any questions, just feel free to email events. We're watching for that. We're prepared. It is the first year we're doing booking like this, so there may be something that even we overlooked that should be in the form that, of course, didn't occur to us.
Yeah. in previous years, for people who have been here before, you will remember that like you got your registration through us, and then but you had to book your room directly through the NCC's website, which sometimes there were problems with, and sometimes you could get into, and sometimes you couldn't. And then you had to pay there, but part of it was paid by us, and part of it was paid by you. This is all very much simpler now.
And sometimes the front desk wouldn't realize that we were also paying parts. They would have you pay extra more and then have to refund you.
Yes.
Or you tried to book online, it didn't work. You would have to call the front desk. The front desk would then have to call me and be like, is this person attending? We've cut out all 16 of the middlemen.
Exactly. All is being done now simply through BlackBerry, both registration and lodging. Now, Laurel, one question that's come in, is there going to be a way for, like, if people are willing to share, but like, is there a seeking roommate list kind of situation? Is that something we can facilitate?
So we don't actively have an area for that. In the Signum Discord in the Moots area, there's often been a question of, hey, I'm planning to attend this Moot, ride share, room share. So going to areas where Signum already congregates.
Yeah,
and
the
talks
Signum
about
Discord is
Moots.
a good place, because is there a Mythmoot channel in the Signum Discord?
There is a general Moots channel.
A general Moots channel. Okay.
General Moots channel.
Yeah.
But we, as the events team, have discovered that we cannot actually facilitate ride share and room share with any sort of ease.
It's complicated, but
yes,
Discord would be a good place to do
more
this.
problems than we solve trying to set those up.
It's easy
so we
to
give
see how
you
that could happen.
avenues to do so. Definitely, if you know someone that's already going, feel free to reach out to them direct via email.
Yeah.
I cannot provide information on who is attending. That is considered private. I have received those requests before, and I know they're meant in good faith, but I cannot tell you who is registered.
And you can understand why we're kind of restricted that way. It's if you think it through. Yeah.
Legally, I cannot tell you who is attending Mythmoot.
Right.
But the Signum Discord, especially the Mooch channel, is a very good place for general. And Mythmoot is very, very far away. So if you post something now and don't get any bites, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd try again in another month or so when people are maybe a little more sure of plans.
Yeah. Awesome. Excellent. Well, thank you, Laurel. This has been great fun. I am so looking forward to Mythmoot. It is just an incredible, like these past 2 years, the like slowly growing stress of the challenges with Mythmoot have been such a burden on the second half of our planning year.
Yes.
It is such a breath of relief to have everything set.
It is. And our point of contact at the NCC, I know one year, every time I contacted them, someone had quit and I had a new person. So we had to start from scratch every single time. That was
sometimes more than once in a year.
Actually, one time was 7 times in a single year. That was the very first year that we encountered large-scale delays.
Challenges, yes.
But every single email I've sent to them this year has been responded to within 48 hours. It's
been good.
It has been a very low stress.
It's been excellent.
Stress.
It's been excellent. Yeah,
I'm very excited. We have the theme. We have all our guests of honor. The CFP is open.
Yeah.
Registration is open. So even if there are some questions or things we didn't think of, we have time to answer them.
Lots of time. And if you do have any questions, again, send an email to events@signumu.org and we'll help you with that.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Lawrence, so much. Laurel, this has been so much fun. And I can't wait for Mythmoot. Excited for Osmoot, which is our next moot, and then our very active spring moot season for regional moots. Remember that all of our moots are available remotely as well. So although it is uniquely fun to be able to gather in the same place with people, it is also fun to be able to attend remotely if you can't be there in person. So we try to be as inclusive as we possibly can on all of the moots that we hold. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm gonna sign off and sign right back in again. We're only gonna have a delay of like 30 seconds or so, like 1 minute. And then I will start up the stream again and I will be back to talk about the graduate program. All right. Thank you, Laurel. See you soon.
See ya.